Hey guys, Lucas Jeffries from Jeffries Property Group, and after overseeing more than $200 million in property transactions, here's a few tips that we've compiled on how you can secure your dream home. So the first thing to be aware of is that there's actually a couple of different elements to making an offer. When you're thinking about making an offer, quite often the first and only thing that people think about is price. And price plays a large part, don't get me wrong, but the terms and conditions of the offer can actually hold almost equal weight than the price. If you're selling your house for $800,000 and I was to bring you two offers, now one of those offers was cash unconditional and the other offer had a 30-day finance clause. If you're the vendor, which of those two offers are you going to take? Now, I'm not saying to go out and make cash offers on properties. Obviously, you need to make offers with the terms and conditions that you're comfortable with, and they need to be determined by your own personal set of circumstances. But what I am saying is, if you can afford a 14-day finance clause versus a 21-day finance clause, that will make you slightly more attractive than the other offers that are potentially sitting at 21 days. The other question that I would encourage you to ask the real estate agent that you're dealing with is, what settlement terms would the vendor favor? Now, you might be dealing with a property seller that wants to be out of the property in 30 days, they've bought somewhere else and they need the cash quite quickly. In which case, if you can facilitate that transaction, then making an offer with a 30-day settlement is obviously going to be more attractive to that owner. However, if you're making an offer with a 30-day settlement and the property seller doesn't actually have anywhere to move for 2 months or 3 months, they might actually favor an offer that has a 60 or a 90-day settlement. So it's important for you to gain an understanding as a buyer as to what settlement timeframes would actually work best with the seller and when they're judging your offer in comparison to other offers on the market. And when they're judging your offer in comparison to other offers, how are they going to look at yours more favorably? And the final thing that I would encourage you to consider is making offers in writing. Again, we go back to this fictitious scenario that if I was selling your property and I was to bring you two offers, if one of those offers was at $800,000 and it was on a signed contract ready to rock and roll, it had clear terms and conditions defined and the vendors knew that it was tangible, versus a second offer, even if that offer was $810,000 or $820,000, but it had no clear terms and conditions, it wasn't on writing, it was simply a verbal offer and there was no tangibility, which offer would you accept as an owner? And the second question that I'd ask you off the back of that scenario is, how much higher would that verbal offer need to be for you as the owner to take the risk of going back to that buyer and trying to get them on contract and potentially have your buyer who is already on contract walk away and buy something else? Now, if you've said that offer would need to be $20,000 or $30,000 higher, well, that's potentially how much more money that you would need to pay to have your verbal offer considered. So if I was buying a property, I would always make sure that my offer was presented in writing. So I hope you found those tips valuable, and if you can implement one or two of them, I hope they lead to you securing your dream home.